Have you ever wondered how on earth am I going to achieve 1 million net worth just by working on my 9-to-5 job? I get it. It feels overwhelming. Imagine if you're saving $2,000 every month, it would take you 40 years just to reach $1 million. Well, if I keep saving like this, I'll reach $1 million in 40 years. And 40 years later, your 1 million will probably means nothing due to inflation. If you're watching this video, like me, I'm guessing you're not in the top 1%, and we're just trying to find ways to make our hard-earned money grow and achieve financial freedom as early as possible. So let's put 1 million aside and focus on a smaller and more realistic goal for now, reaching our first 100,000. Because the hardest part is not about reaching $1 million, it's about reaching your first $100,000. And when you hit your first 100,000, reaching $1 million will be much easier and faster. So in this video, I'll explain why net worth explodes after 100,000 and some tips on how to achieve it. So let's go. Hey, what's up wonderful people? My name is Jean Lu and welcome to my channel where we make a difference in life. Now I just want to mention very quickly that everything in this video is not financial advice. I'm just sharing my thoughts and experience. Always do your own research and manage your risk according to your own financial situation. Now hitting 1 million feels daunting, but if we narrow it down and focus on just hitting 100,000, it feels less intimidating and more achievable. But trust me, it's actually the hardest part. It's brutal. Now do you know that in Malaysia where I'm from, studies shows that only 34% of the population above age 54 have $100,000 in their retirement account, and 55% of the population have less than $10,000 in the savings. So if you can work your way to achieve your first 100,000, reaching $1 million will be much easier. So the first reason why your net worth explodes after reaching 100,000 is what I like to call the snowball effect. Now imagine if you're rolling a tiny snowball down the hill. Now at first it's pretty small and it's pretty slow and difficult to roll. But as it rolls and gains momentum, it picks up more and more snow and gets bigger, faster. And that's exactly how compounding works. Now let's say you start with $10,000 capital and you invest in the S&P 500 US index, which generates an average of 10 to 12% return annually. And of course, it doesn't mean 10 to 12% every year. Some years more, some years less, and some years even negative return. But throughout history, it averages 10 to 12%. So let's assume 10%. And let's say you're able to add in $1,000 every month with no increment every year. And to grow your $10,000 capital, it would take you 5.5 years time to reach 100,000. Well, not too bad. But notice how from 100,000 to 200,000, it only takes 4 years. And it will take lesser and lesser time from 200 to 400 and 400k and beyond. The growth is exponential, and it's not just by multiplying the same amount of time that it took to reach your first 100,000. Now for example, if your goal is to reach 1 million, instead of taking 5.5 years multiplied by 10 equals to 55 years to reach 1 million, with the power of compounding, it should only take 22 years to reach $1 million, which is less than half the time if you stick to your investment plan. And this is why the rich gets richer. Money makes money, and after 100,000, your investment starts to work harder than you do. Now the second reason is breaking the mental barrier. Now here's something people don't talk about enough. The mental barrier of 100,000. For most people, 6 figures is a big psychological milestone. It makes money feels more real. Before that, money is something you can earn and spend, but after hitting 100,000, you start seeing it differently. It's like something you need to grow, protect, and multiply. Now think about it. When you first have 10,000, you might feel tempted to splurge on a new phone or vacation. But when you hit 100,000, your mindset starts to shift and you start asking, how can I make this into 500,000? And that's the moment where wealth building truly begins. I still remember back in my early 20s, I was wondering when will I ever hit 100,000 in my bank account? And when I finally did, I started to view money differently, and the goal of reaching $1 million and beyond seems very realistic. Now, behavioral financial studies have shown that once people accumulate significant savings, their financial decisions become more long-term oriented, leading to better wealth accumulation over time. Now the third reason is the boost in confidence. Reaching 100,000 isn't just about numbers, it's about what it does to your confidence. A study published in the Journal of Economic Psychology found that individuals with higher financial confidence tends to make better investment choices and accumulate wealth faster. You have proven to yourself that you can save, invest, and grow your money. You have built discipline and you know you can do it again, but now with bigger numbers. This confidence makes you take smarter risks, look for better investment opportunities, and level up financially. Now before, 10,000 used to be such a big figure, but when you reach 100,000, it becomes a different ballgame. You will look at 10,000 very differently as it becomes a relatively small number, and you don't feel that nervous or excited anymore making or losing 10k in profit. The same goes when you reach a million. And guess what? Confidence attracts money, and when you believe in your ability to grow your wealth, you start spotting opportunities that you have never noticed before. Now, if you're finding the content valuable so far, consider hitting the like button and subscribe to support the channel. It means a lot to me. Now, the fourth reason is increase cash flow and investments. Now, once you have hit 100,000, you're not just growing money, you're generating cash flow. Maybe you're investing in stocks that pays dividend, maybe you're earning interest from a high-yield savings account, maybe you're investing in rental properties or businesses. Whatever is it, this cash flow gives you extra money to reinvest every single month. Now think about it. If your initial capital was 10,000, to gain 10,000 profit means that your investment needs to go up 100%. However, if you have reached 100,000, just 10% of interest annually could gain you 10% a year in interest without having to do anything. And at this point, your investment will start feeding themselves. And the bigger your investment gets, the more money they will generate. And hopefully it will grow to a point that the interest that you accrue can cover your monthly expenses. That's where you can live off interest and gain actual financial freedom. And that's why net worth starts growing exponentially after 100,000. It's like unlocking the next level of the game. Now the fifth reason is taking bigger risks and more opportunities. With more money comes more opportunities. Because let's be real, when you only have 5,000 in savings, you're probably not taking any big risks. But once you build up a strong financial base, you can afford to take calculated risks. Maybe you could invest in a startup, put money into a new business, or buy into a stock during the market dipped. Because you have more money, you can spread your investment across different opportunities. And some of those opportunities have the potential to 10x your wealth, getting you from 100,000 to a million in just a couple of years. Alright, now you might be thinking, that all sounds great, but I'm not at $100,000 yet. So how do I get there? Well, here are some tips. Now the first thing that we need to do is master delayed gratification. The biggest wealth killer? Buying things that you can barely afford. Avoid high-ticket purchases when you're still in the wealth building stage. That designer handbag or expensive watch can wait. Hold off on buying a new house too soon. Renting can be a smarter move while you're growing your assets. Houses come with huge hidden costs like maintenance, taxes, and interest payment. Skip the unnecessary renovation. Your dream kitchen can wait. Every dollar you put into something non-essential is a dollar that could be working for you in investments. Now don't buy that luxury car just to flex, for now at least, because most cars depreciate in value. Every dollar not spent in investing, we are missing out on opportunity costs. Now second, live frugally and invest aggressively. Build a habit of saving and investing early. The earlier you start, the more you benefit from compound growth. Now instead of spending money on status and symbol, put your money into appreciating assets like stocks, real estate, or a business. And before buying that $20,000 handbag, think about how much you could potentially earn if you invested that money. There's a chance that you can get that handbag for free in the future. Track your expenses and cut out any unnecessary spending. Now that daily $5 coffee might not seem like much, but over a year is nearly $2,000. That's the money that could be invested. Now although I'm not the most frugal person ever, I do track every single dollar that I spend every month to make sure that I don't overspend and I could still stick to my financial plans. And if you're not the most disciplined person ever, try setting up automatic investments so you don't need to have to think about it. Make investing a habit, not a decision. Now the third thing that we can do is increase your income. I know this sounds cliche, but it's true. Find ways to increase your income by any means. I mean legally of course, whether it's working hard on your job, climbing the career ladder to increase your income, working on side hustles, getting freelance job, or even starting a business. Then reinvest back those additional income to increase the size of your investment, which will generate you more return and speeding up your goal to reach that 100,000 and beyond. Now the fourth thing to do is take smarter risks. If you're young, you can afford to take higher risks. The younger you are, the more time you have to recover from financial mistakes. For example, if you can afford to invest $10,000 on a potential asset that could increase 10x and make you $100,000 on your capital. And if that asset goes to zero, the most you could have lost is $10,000. And the worst thing is, you just need to work harder and recover. But if your investment thesis plays out and you could 10x your capital, well, to me, I think that's a risk worth taking. Diversify your investment into assets that have high growth potential. Stocks and index funds are a great starting point, and if you are willing to take more risks, crypto and startups can offer even higher returns. Again, only invest on what you can afford to lose, and always do your research before investing. And don't forget to diversify your investment in high, mid, and low risk investments. Build multiple income streams because relying on one job is risky. Look for a way to diversify your income so that your money keeps coming in, even if one source dries up. Right, so there you have it. Why net worth explode after 100,000 and how to get there faster. Now, hitting your first 100,000 isn't easy, but once you do, things start accelerating like crazy. And of course, we always feels like money is never enough. And if you want to know why everyone around us seems to be richer than us, click on this video. And if you found this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe for more wealth building tips, and let me know in the comments, what is your biggest money goal right now? Let's talk. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.